So what we first have to do is just unscrew the shower head, and then that will come off there. And we've also got basically like a flower cover that's behind it that you remove. And then the next thing is, if there is any plumber's tape, you just want to remove that, and it can be quite fiddly, so I'm just going to speed the video up, but quite fiddly to get out. So I used a little screwdriver here to help me around the threads, make sure it was all out and clean, because I will be putting thread tape back on shortly to make sure that it seals effectively. Now what you can notice around the back there is there's grout in the tile. Sometimes there's nothing there, which I'm not a fan of. So if there was nothing there, I would have filled that with silicone, clear silicone. But because it's all been grouted, it's sealed, then that's all fine, and it stops water going down behind the tiles and then the tiles falling off and the wall getting damp. So what I'm going to do now is put some plumber's tape on, and when you put it on, you go with the way that the thread will go when you're screwing on your shower head. So in this case, it's going clockwise because that's the way it will tighten up. So make sure that there's plenty of thread tape goes on. If you don't put enough, then the adapter piece that screws onto the thread will go on really easily. So just make sure you get plenty on, and then it'll be all good and sealed. So this is the piece from Enagic. This is the Anespa adapter there that's going to screw on the thread, and then you're going to have your Anespa shower head sit on it. So the problem that I have with this is the shower head, when it sits in it, it actually sits quite high, it sits quite upright. So there's an option here to put on an angle first, and then you'll be able to have the shower head further down. The problem that we've got in this shower though is that it's actually quite narrow. So if we bring it further out from the wall, it's actually reducing the space to shower in. So I won't be doing that. We're just going to put up with the angle that the shower head will be on. And you'll notice this once you get it all in place. If you need to put an angle on it, just go to the local hardware store. For people in Australia, I just went to Bunnings and got it. But just to clarify why I'm not going to put this cover back on, the piece that comes from Enagic, and this is because I've installed this piece before, I actually used silicone last time because there was no silicone in the place. But the thread is further back, and if the thread coming out the wall isn't long enough, you're not going to be able to get the this adapter piece on. So I'm not putting that cover on. I'm just going to go straight onto the thread, and in this case, my plumber's tape that I've put on, I need to put more on. So I'm just going to put some more on now and build up that thread to help seal so we don't have any water leaks. And just to note, if you end up putting too much on, you can always take it off. It's not really rocket science, this. It's just, if you can't get the piece on after you've put a load of thread tape on, then yeah, just take off, even if you have to start again. It comes off really easy the first time. It's when it's actually been screwed on and left on that it becomes really hard to get off and takes a bit of time. So screwing this piece on now, and it's definitely a lot firmer as I'm screwing that on. Something to be aware of as well, just unscrew the piece in itself. So there's a big like round nut there at the back. Just unscrew that so that where the shower is going to attach to the shower head, it's actually loose, and you can set it up so it's going to be in position. If everything's really tight and then you screw it onto the threaded pipe, you're not going to be able to undo it properly without making a mess of it just spinning around and so on. So you can see it's a bit awkward. I'm doing what I can here and just nipping it up with my hands. So I'm not using any plumber's grips or anything like that, but if you need to, you can do. So as I mentioned, this has been installed before, so there was a bit of plumber's tape around that. So I tend to use plumber's tape as often as I can because it's really good to use and helps with the seal. And it's more about also being as water conscious as possible. We don't want any leaks and wasted water where we can. So I'm just going to add some threaded tape here now. Okay, there's the Anespa. So just put that down, putting the shower head in place just to see how it's sitting there. And he's just nipping up at that, the bit that screws onto it. And then, as you can see, it's sitting quite high up, so it's not pointing down very well. But there's not much we can do because, as I mentioned, we've got a really narrow shower here. So now it's just a case of getting the pipe that's going to connect to the base of the housing there. So we're going to just screw that up. It does have a rubber washer in it, by the way, as well. And then I'm going to go down and screw the bottom bit to the Anespa itself. So remember, this is the water that's coming straight from the water main through the adapter and then down into the Anespa, that's then going to be filtered and ionized and then back up out of the shower head. So it's screwed onto this bit here, and then the shower head part is screwed onto this bit here. Turn the water on and we have the water running nicely. So 15 litres per minute, so it's a fairly decent power shower. Then turn the water off, and obviously it'll just trickle out as normal. And basically that's about it. The only thing that I'm going to just check now is if there's any leaks. So anywhere it's leaking, I just noticed there out of the housing there, it just needs nipping up. So these are the plumber's grips that I've got. They're actually my granddad's, God bless him. So every time I use them, think of him. And I just nip it up. So I'm not going really tight. I'm just nipping it up gently till I feel a bit of grip. And then that will be sealed. Happy days. Enjoy installing your Anespa. Thank you for watching. If you're enjoying my content and want to see more of my upcoming new content, just click on the subscribe button below. If you enjoyed this video, click on the thumbs up to like it. And if you want to show some further appreciation or even have a question to ask me, just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Plus, enjoy any of my further videos to the side of me or on my YouTube channel. If you haven't yet experienced the true value of the Enagic products, contact me today via the join link in the description below. Thank you for your time and have a great day.